Mr. Mayor, before they begin, if I could just give you some background. Typically, the YAB comes before us sometime after their youth forum, and last year, for many reasons, they weren't able to, well, they did come, but we weren't able to get back to them with the answers to many of their questions. So they presented 7 questions or so for us this evening for us to look into about issues that are of importance to them.
We good? All right. I'm Scott Pleasance. I'm an adult advisor on the Teaneck Youth Advisory Board. I'm actually going to turn it over to Joey Goffstein. He's our what are you, Joey?
Chair.
Joey's our chair, so Joey can follow up.
Hi, I'm Joey Goffstein. This is my 5th year on the Youth Advisory Board, and I'm actually going to turn it over to 4 of my fellow board members to bring up it's like 4 issues that we feel are big questions that we have for the council, and hopefully we can get some answers tonight, if possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Rodriguez. I'm also a 5th-year member of the Youth Advisory Board, and I go to Teaneck High School here in Teaneck. So I would say 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we had a meeting with the Boston Youth Advisory Board, and we were able to have a little Google conference with them, and we asked them a couple questions about how they kind of run their Youth Advisory Board there in, a much bigger city like Boston. We were able to get a lot of information about, how they're able to get word out to the public about, what they do and, some of the events that they hold. We were also able to talk to them about membership and how long, each person gets to stay on the board and, what each kind of person does on that board. And one of the things that Boston Board has that we would like to actually implement is beginning the process of developing a Youth Advisory Board webpage on the township website.
Another concern we have is kids come and say they've been around town and they've been around their local streets, and there have been a lot of problems with street lights. So we were kind of wondering if we imagine there are these requirements for street lights and checking on street lights, and it's obviously very important for safety. So we were wondering if things like requirements for street lights can be reviewed in order to hold the utmost safety for children in town.
What's your name?
I'm Ben Elias.
Hi, I'm Rafi Wind. I'm part of the First School. Something else we were wondering about is the hours of the parks. If we could get those extended, maybe we could also have the police monitoring them periodically, because there have been cases of cell phones being stolen.
Hi, I'm Steve Bordak. I'm sure you're all familiar with the area on Queen Anne Road between State Street and Amsterdam, where there's no sidewalk. It's by TABC High School. We know in particular students from that school, but also in general anybody, both kids and adults who are walking in that area or biking, whatever have you, are definitely in a moderately dangerous situation, given that that's a relatively heavy traffic in that area. So we're wondering if a sidewalk could potentially be put on that street in that area. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Michael Camordo, and I go to school at Benjamin Franklin. And one of the questions we have is the lunches at school. Even though they improved, we were wondering if they could be more tasteful and suitable to eat. And also, in our last meeting, we were wondering if, around the town in stores, that students that have high GPAs, in high school, can get discounts, which will, influence them to do better in school.
Thank you.
Did I see Mr. Rodriguez back there? It's a question to take back to the board.
Mr. Rose, I think we have a couple Board of Ed members here.
So hopefully we could look into some of those issues, and we thank all you guys for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, these are very simple things that we can start working on. I think that Councilman Parker, who's your liaison, can speak to the manager about the webpage. With regards to the street lights, there's a number on the street lights. If you just send it over to the township manager or send it to us, we forward that number over to PSENG, and then they repair it. Hours in the parks, I think that...
Actually, I just want to clarify, when we talk about hours in the parks and some incidents that have concerned you, are there specific parks we're talking about at specific facilities? Is it the basketball courts at Votee? Is it the playground equipment in Andreas Park? Narrow it down so that we can figure out how to address that.
Those are sort of two separate scenarios. One of those is like during the summer in Votee, people wanted longer hours, for example, the basketball courts. Because as you know, I don't know if you know, but some people actually play in the dark in Votee during the summer.
Generally right now, if all our equipment is operating properly, the basketball courts in Votee are lighted until 11 p.m.
Okay.
Are we looking for hours much later than that, or just to have our equipment operating as it should more frequently?
And then the other scenario was there were certain parts in Teaneck, I don't know off the top of my head, that kids were complaining when they walk nearby at night, they feel unsafe, which is where the police presence sort of came in. These are like closed parks that are unlit, that quote-unquote sketchy things are happening in, that teenagers just walking nearby felt unsafe. So.
I think that's coupled with the cell phone issue, meaning, people have had their phones stolen in the middle of the day because, I guess the people who are stealing the phones kind of feel the lack of police presence, so they sort of feel, more liberal in their actions, and they're more willing to do that even during the day.
Sure. So if we can get maybe at your next meeting, or, everyone who raised those concerns, if we can get a list of those particular sketchy areas so that we can work with the manager on increasing directed patrols in the parks to see how we would address those issues to make kids feel more comfortable and safer in those areas. But we want to see if we can, because we have 25 parks in Teaneck, and I'm sure we're not talking about all of them. So if we can identify...
Since YAB's existence, safety in the parks has always been an issue, and I think it's more specifically to Votee Park was the park that was mentioned the most in terms of lighting and feeling safe. And we've also had community policing come and address those issues, as well as the Youth Bureau has come out and addressed those issues, but it's a recurring theme. It wasn't mentioned tonight, but it has been mentioned during our meetings, drug use in the park and people feeling uncomfortable with things that are going on in the park. The mayor's looking like drugs in the park.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry. It happens.
Sidewalks. The sidewalks.
Mr. Mayor, with the sidewalks, I think we've given enough leeway to the property owner. This is going on literally over 2 years since we requested.
No, more than 2 years.
No, since we requested.
2006.
Okay. We talk about it as if the next project, the next person is going to be the savior, but the reality is we're leaving a situation that is very dangerous, and I think that we should require the owner of the property to do it. Whoever that owner is, whatever the cost is.
I agree. This has been an issue that we've been talking about for many years. Some youth advisory board members who advocated for it are married now, graduated college, and I do think it's time that we take steps.
I'm in favor of...
And it's not just the Torah Academy or the Maya Note. There are students that are walking to BF, to the high school.
It was BF students that originally brought the concern.
So if we could just have direct the attorney to...
Mr. Mayor,
just so you should know, that's the 1475 Palisade Avenue project, which was approved. And
part of the approval included that sidewalk.
The approval included the placement of a sidewalk at that particular location.
So should the developer actually go forward building that project, they're going to have to build those sidewalks?
Correct. We're at the stage of doing the developer's agreement. and the project seems to be on track. The alternative, if you'll remember when we had the in-house engineer, there's extensive engineering that has to be done in order to issue the orders to do the sidewalk to a property owner. And we have not gotten the authority to spend the money to do that kind of engineering.
So I would like to offer a third alternative, and a third alternative is that we go outside the developer's agreement. We make it very clear, we send a letter to the owner of the property that this is something that is required in the developer's agreement, and this is something that we would like to see done as a council today, not wait till the end of the project, which could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, if they end up doing it.
The current owner is not the applicant who has the approval to do the project. So,
okay, so
the chances of the current owner voluntarily agreeing to do the project is slim to none. Either the developer is going to do the project or the council is going to condemn it to get the project done. So in order to do the second step...
If we condemn it, though, we pass the expense to the owner, correct?
Not necessarily. Not on this, not with this topography that we're talking about. There's not enough room in the normal easement for a sidewalk.
I still think that we should start barking a little bit.
This is a difficult engineering issue, and unless we have engineering drawings to work from, we have a problem.
I would still request, if I have the council support, that we send a letter to the owner and to the developer saying that this is what we want done, and we want this done, immediately. And it's in however way you want to write the letter. But we understand that it's part of the developer's agreement, but this is a safety need that has to be done today.
The letter is no problem to send.
Okay, fine. Do I have support?
Why don't I have a meeting, see if I can arrange a meeting with them first, so we can get some face-to-face.
I want to do a letter with them. Please call me to arrange a meeting.
So you have direction on which way to go with that. In terms of the lunches, I think that, there's Sebastian back there, and there's Howard Rose right there. They're the ones to talk about better school lunches. But I think that's a great idea about kids getting, students with high GPAs getting discounts at local stores. And the township clerk, if you guys get in touch with her, she will give you the president of the Teaneck Chamber of Commerce. His name is Larry Bauer, and I'm sure that it's something that he would love to work and see if he can recruit people to participate in that.
Has the YAB ever had a specific meeting or interaction with the Chamber of Commerce?
No. So
that might be something, in addressing that specific question, but also maybe other issues as far as employment and other opportunities.
They actually haven't had a meeting, but they were honored by the Chamber of Commerce a couple of years ago.
So it might be a great time to look at a formal gathering with them to see all the areas that there might be.
Sure.
A comment about the discount. If there's a college here, and a lot of high schools, private and public, that's a win-win for the businesses in the township. So I think that if you can sit down with the Chamber of Commerce, there ought to be some way worked out where everybody benefits from that, and it's a great idea. And the YAB is a good conduit to get to the other schools.
Yeah, Mayor, I think all students should get a discount, not just those with a higher GPA. Maybe those with a higher GPA can get a bigger discount. I think all students should get a discount.
Many schools offer it. Now, one of our council members, when he was in high school, he arranged it at the student discount.
And more ice cream at lunch.
Wonderful.
And as far as the website, I know that there were provisions made for a youth page with our new website. It's really just about moving forward. So we'll meet with, perhaps a group of the YAB can meet with the manager, and we can discuss how we want to move forward with that.
Good luck, guys, this year, and thank you for coming in so much.
I just want to acknowledge we have our adult advisors. If they could just stand. They're all here this evening. We have Jeanette and Yvonne and Keisha and Andrew in the back. Thank you, guys. And Scott, of course.
Thank you.